Welcome to BlocklyAR, a visual programming interface to create augmented reality applications. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to make an augmented reality application step by step. The main interface includes 4 sections. The first section is the coding area where you can drag and drop blocks to the workspace. On the left side of the coding area is the block container, where blocks are assigned to different categories. The core category contains the basic components of an augmented reality application, such as setting up the scene, putting marker recognition into the scene, adding an universal object, and defining behavior of the 3D models. The component category allows users to set the property of a virtual object. For example, where the object should be placed, which direction it looks at, how big it is, and so on. The primitive category enables users to work with some HTML elements and predefined virtual object models, such as button, div container, a 3D cube, animation-supported models, and more. The data category allows programmers to set the atomic value for a block, for example, the exact position of an object in 3D space, the message content to be displayed, the model you want to select, the pattern you want your marker to detect, or the animation you want your model to play. The action category contains blocks that are capable of performing independent events, such as playing an audio, displaying a message on the screen, moving an object from one location to another, animating a virtual object, or triggering an event. The function category, on the other hand, allows enthusiasts to perform a series of action in order, for example, which actions should be carried out once a button is clicked, what to do next, when an object finished moving from one location to another, or how much time do we need to wait before going to the next action. And lastly, the variable category enables users to define a set of variables in the application, just like any other programming languages. The second section is the visual augmented reality area, where users can test the application after injecting some blocks into the workspace. The Run Program button will transcribe all the blocks into HTML, JavaScript, and makes them ready to be seen by users. The Stop Program button will close the visual section to avoid disturbing users while they are working with the coding area. Users can also maximize this area to see the augmented reality application on a bigger screen. The third section is the tutorial area, where users can get themselves familiarized with visual programming interface. There are 12 tutorials, starting from the very basic lesson to more complicated ones. Each tutorial will contain blocks in the previous lesson. So if users are struggling with the current tutorial, he or she can go to the next lesson to achieve the answer. After finishing 12 tutorials, users will be challenging to work on the project which will reproduce the Palmito Ranch battlefield. The Export button enables users to write the application into a HTML file, then the file can be uploaded to a web repository, and other people can experience your augmented reality application. Now, let's get started. Please click on the first tutorial. In the first tutorial, you will be asked to initialize the augmented reality scene. Go to the core category and drag the AR scene block to the workspace. After you've done, click the Run Program button. The camera in the visualization area will be triggered. In the second step, you will be asked to put a marker into the scene and its associated model. Please go to the core category, drag the marker block, and drop it inside the AR scene block. Next, go to the primitive category, get the box block, then put it inside the marker. You can change the color of the box to red. Run the program. After this step you should be able to see the red cube displayed on top of the marker. The default marker is Hero, which can be downloaded via this link. In the third tutorial, you will be asked to place the Cesium Man 3D model on top of the letter A. To change the model, click on the cube, then hit the delete button, or you can drag it to the trash icon. Go to the primitive category and drag the GLTF model inside the marker. To change the marker type, delete it, then go to the data category, drag the pattern block, and attach it to the old preset pattern. Great, now you can point your camera toward the letter A. You should be able to see the Cesium Man standing on top of the letter A. In this tutorial, you are asked to add another marker to the scene. Let's add another marker which also contains a GLTF model. Set the pattern of the second marker to letter B. Run the program. You should be able to see two cesium men sitting on top of the two markers, letter A and letter B. This tutorial guides you how to add a button into the scene to control the model. Drag the navbar block in the primitive category to the workspace and position it on top of the AR scene block. Run the program. You should be able to see button 1 appear on top of the screen. Let's add 3 more buttons to the scene. Hint: drag the button block inside the nav bar and change the names of the 4 buttons to S1, S2, S3, S4 respectively. In order to give control of a button over a given model, we need to set up a controller. Go to the core category and drag the script block to the workspace, attach it on top of the nav bar block. We also need to make a connection between the controller and the scene. Go to the variable category, select the manager block, and attach it to the AR scene block. Since the controller must know which button it refers to, we have to create a unique identification for each button. To do so, go to the variable category, click on Create Variables, then create 4 variables with the names Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3, and Stage 4 respectively. Then set the button identification to its associated variable. This tutorial will introduce you to make a simple behavior when the button 1 is clicked. It will display a Hello World message on the screen. Go to the function category, get the set button on click to actions into the init block that you've created. Set the item variable to stage 1. Run the program and click on the button S1. Now, you should be able to see the message Hello World overlay on the screen. This is the funniest part of the application that enables you to move a virtual object from one position to another. The expected behavior is that, when the user clicks on the button S1, the model will start moving from the marker 1 to the marker 2. The message "I am moving from marker 1 to marker 2" will also be displayed on the screen. In order to make this behavior, go to the data category and grasp the text block, then attach it to the display message block. You can type the content in the text block, for example, "I am moving from marker 1 to marker 2. For the movement, go to the actions category, drag the block move object from to below the display message block, drag the set animation of item to block, and drop it below the previous block. We need to set the reference of the item to the desired marker. Go to the variables category and create 2 variables named as marker 1 and marker 2. Set the item in the marker block to its associated name. You also need to set the item in the move object and set animation blocks to their associated marker variables. The 3D objects also need to be identified. Create other 2 variables for the object 1 and object 2, for example, cesium 1 and cesium 2. Now you can set the move object cesium 1 from location marker 1 to location marker 2. During the movement, the cesium can change from stand to walk, which is annotated as animation 0. Now, can you finish the project to recreate the Palmito Ranch battlefield? Part of the blocks are already wired up. Thank you very much.